Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Ava. It's your girl Oluwatomi to and I am so excited to have you in a space. More importantly, I'm excited that this is week 3 of me being consistent with my podcast and navigating adulthood series. Please remember that this series is more of a personal journey for me. So I'm not saying I am an expert when it comes to these topics. I'm just saying that these are the things that are going on with me or have gone on with me. I don't know if that statement is correct. And these are the ways that I was able to navigate that experience. Having said that, in the last episode, I hinted that we'll be talking about managing finances and budgeting. This topic is a scary one because I am a bad budgeter, but it's a very crucial one because with the way things are going on in Nigeria right now, it is essential that we learn how to manage our finances and budget. Growing up, I often I had this ideology that I finished school as pan brilliant now. Get a good job, start earning, and start being able to take care of myself. There's always the can never be me thing until it actually becomes you. So I was at this point where I literally was of the opinion that because um I was intelligent or smart, I won't have to look for a job by the time I'm finishing school, getting a job ready until tertiary institution said keep playing and life itself said I was a joker. And now I have realized that that girl that I was seriously joking, which leads me to this topic. When I had quite learned how to I had learned how to save from a young age. I always saved. I wasn't a fan of drugs or, the other things that people would spend money on. I knew if I wanted to get something, I had to save for it because finances were quite tight in the house. So for my allowance, I started saving. So I wanted to get anything, I saved for it. Now that helped me up until I finished secondary school. Although most of my savings went into my mom's pocket, but then Nigerian moms will never give you money back. No wala. I'm sorry, I sigh a lot. I'm trying to caution myself when it comes to taking deep breath, but just bear with me. In the learning process. Okay, getting into the university, things kind of became better. My allowance increased. So rather than buying food stuff in bulk, because every time I left home, my mom always loaded me with foodstuffs, rice, beans, curry, elubo. Basically, I had all of that in my hostel. My allowance would also come in, and rather than use them to eat better food, I would use them in buying junk. I'd buy Pringles, buy Golden Morn, cornflakes, all those things. And everyone who knew me in 100 level, 200 level knew that I don't eat. The only thing I'm eating is Golden Morn, cornflakes. I could cook a cup of rice, eat it morning, afternoon, night, and still throw the leftover away. That was how bad my eating habit was. Eventually, I had to grow up when I had to get a job in 300 level. And I realized that all the money I was spending on things that were not even nutritional, I could channel them into something else. Thereafter, I started saving and started my perfume business. So I started cultivating a saving culture again, 300 level, then, into 400 level, started saving. Although I won't say I became good at saving because there are times that my inner child would take over and I would spend frivolously and then suffer for the rest of the month. But now I indulged a lot, especially in makeup products and clothes, especially in makeup and clothes. Those two, they always have my money anytime, any day. Now I am learning to question myself. Okay, now let's put things into perspective. What is financial health? Financial health is managing your income, expenses, savings, and debts effectively. Managing your income, how much money do you earn in a month? How much do you spend? How much do you save? And if you are owing people, how can you pay your debt? Let's remember that Nigeria economic system is particularly terrible at the moment because the things, the prices of goods and services have tripled over the course of the year. And people are finding it very hard to survive on the minimum wage. In fact, those that are earning more than the minimum wage are still complaining. Now, we that are earning the minimum wage and I just remembered I don't have a job anymore. Oh, my life, okay. Yes, I do not have a job. So I'm basically not earning any money and I still have to find a way to survive until I am able to get a job. At least when I had NYC allowance, I was able to do one or two. I saved a bit, not a lot. I saved a bit out of my NYC allowance. At the same time, I had other allowances from home, and I still saved. But now that NYC has ended, all my allowances have come to an end, and I'm going to have to survive on my own. This is life telling me another Ella because I thought when I finish NYC, I'll get a job. A job will be waiting for me. No job is waiting for me. Okay, let's get back into let's get back into what we're saying. So, during the course of NYC, while I was serving in Ocean State, I needed to get some things. I needed to fix my laptop for a course that was learning, and I needed to pay for a course. You know, so I had to find a way to save, a way to budget that would help me. So I started this um 70 no yes no 60 20 10 10 yes 60 20 10 10 method of saving. So 60 goes into necessities, my food, transportation. Those were the two basic things I needed to sort out when I was in Osho, of course, food and transportation. Then 20 20% goes into, I can't remember, but it was a 60/20. I just saw on this thing recently. I know 60 was necessities, 10 was emergency, 10 was wants, 20 was financial goals, I think. Anyways, that budgeting ratio helped me get the courses I wanted to get. It also helped me get my laptop to a reasonable extent. That laptop is another case entirely, but at least I was able to get a laptop that was functional enough for me to conclude the course. So, yes, how can you create a budget on a minimum wage? The first thing is to track your income and your expenses. How much do you earn and how much do you spend? Majorly, the things that take a lot of my money, my funds, finance, yeah, the thing that takes a lot of money from me would be my food, drugs, and data. Yes, my food, my medications, and my data. Those three cost a lot, basically. They take a lot of money from me. So now that I know that, how can I, what I, oh, hey, okay. So now that I know how much I earn and the amount I typically spend on things every month, it can help manage my finances, and it does help manage my finances. Also, number two is to categorize your expenses. Divide your expenses into essentials. What example, food, rent, utilities, um, transportation, etc. You know, entertainment. You want to indulge yourself in fine dining. Divide your expenses into all of that, and from there you'll be able to know how much you can allocate into each of them and how you can manage your funds through that. Now you might be thinking that what I'm saying is not exactly applicable in this Nigerian economy. True, but at the same time, it is applicable. You just have to find a way, because the you your expenses does not decrease with the amount of money you earn; it increases. So if you can find a way to work with what you have rather than what you want, I think it would be a great help, because these are things that I have applied and it's worked out fine for me. Please note, I don't have money. I am broke. I'm struggling, but I'm rich in Christ, and I have money in accounts that have not yet been activated yet. Through faith, my faith is activating it. But let's be factual. I do not have a lot of money on me. I'm basically earning the minimum wage, or I was earning the minimum wage, and I still found a way to survive with it. Yes, I know it was just me and my mouth. At the same time, it really does not make a lot of sense. So I know that, why did I say it does not make a lot of sense? I know that I cannot afford some things. I cannot afford, air. I cannot afford some shoes and bag. I can't be an aesthetic babe as much as I would love to be, because my finances does not allow for that, and I do not have a sugar daddy or a rich boyfriend anywhere that would supplement my income. So I have to live within my means. And yes, Nigeria is hard. I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting. Nigeria is hard. The economy is terrible. The minimum wage or the amount you earn can barely suffice for the things that are essential, but you still need to find a way to make it suffice, and you still need to save, even if it is 1,000 naira a month. Save it. At the end of the month, you would have 12,000 naira. That's what I'm saying. Although currently I do not have any savings and I'm broke. Yes, like I said, I'm broke. Hope this is recording. Oh, okay. It's still recording. Yes, number three is set financial goals. How much do you want to save every month? If you want to save 100 naira every week, save it. At the end of the month, you have 400 naira. Yes, at the end of the year, 4 times 12, you would have that amount. I currently cannot do math. So, yes, also choose a budgeting method. If you have multiple bank accounts like me, just have this account and there's nothing inside the accounts. I'm laughing at myself. Ah, like I always say, I'm laughing, I'm laughing renewed hope. Yeah, so if you have multiple bank accounts like me, okay, so if you've budgeted your money, save each budget in a different account. So if you use GTB, Access, Zenith, Sterling, I think those are the four banks that I have. But I also have Wema, Opay, Kuda. Oh my god. I'm sorry if this does not sound like your normal podcast. I am just thinking aloud and you know, a lot is going on with me because unemployed girl talking about finances. But if you want to get probably you want to get something for yourself, start saving for that thing in one account. Then if your transportation is coming out of another account. That's if you have multiple accounts. If not, it's not advisable to withdraw all your cash and keep in envelopes, because if you are somebody like me, that money will be spent, especially on junk. For me, I don't know about you, but yes, allocate a certain amount of money into different categories and stick to it. That is that. Now, what are the tips for saving money? Number one, cut non-essential spending. You know that there are some things that you can survive if you do not have. Please cut it out. So just identify areas where you can reduce spending and reduce it. Number two, if you have the finances, buy in bulk. It's more preferable to buy in bulk than buying buying singly. Um, yeah, so I learned that from my mom. Anytime she goes to the market, instead of buying one thing, sometimes she buys in three or in six because it reduces cost a bit. So um, yes. Then as much as possible, avoid debt. Yes, as much as possible, avoid debt. I have been in debt. I've been I've been in debt. Yes, I think I'm correct. I've been in debt and I did not find it a pleasant experience at all. Aside from my anxiety and my BP rising at every slight reminder that I am owing somebody a certain about amount of money, it also cut into my finances because I was trying to pay off the debt and I could not take care of the things I needed to take care of. So the more I paid off my debt, the more I got into more debts because I was using Peter to people. Yes. But if you are already into debt, please pay off the high priority or high interest rate debts first. And if it's possible for you to negotiate with your creditors, please negotiate with them. Also, you can have other investment options. For instance, there was a time I wanted to pay my rent and I knew I could not afford the money at once. So what I did was save the money, save a certain amount of money in a bank account every month. So once I get any money in my account, or once I get my allowance, I immediately remove that amount, transfer it straight to that account, logged it in so that I would not be able to have access to it until the time I had um scheduled for it. So yes, and if you can join a cooperative, do that. If you can have savings account, accounts with Piggyverse, Cowrywise, I think Kuda also does that. Yeah, those are three I know of. If you can join them, as little as 100 naira, you can save it, and you would have, at the end of the day, you would, you know, get your money back. Like they say, little drops becomes a mighty ocean or something along the line of that. So the your little drops of money, your little amount or the amount you consider little today can eventually become something large. Yes, I know that because there was a time I was ordering 50 naira. So every time I had 15 naira or 20 naira, I'll just keep it in a certain post and forget about it until I have another amount. And eventually, there was one time I just decided to calculate it, and it had accumulated to 6,000 naira from 50 naira. So when you stop looking at the amount as it is little and start looking at it as it is something, then you start saving. Hmm. Yes, this is where I'll draw the curtain on today. I hope out of everything I said, you'll be able to pick one or two things. Also, nobody ever died from subscribing, following, or leaving a comment. I would love to hear back from you. How about now? Please let me hear back from you. Thank you very much. Um, I'd love to hear back from you. Yes. How are you managing your finances with your earnings and the current Nigeria situation? What strategies, if you're saving money, what strategies have helped you save money and stay on budget? Please share your stories and your comments. You can leave a comment on the Spotify page. You can leave a comment on Instagram. We are Ava underscore pod on Instagram, AVAH underscore POD. I would love to hear back from you. Please, please, please share a comment, share your thoughts. Somebody would, it can help somebody, it can help me. I'm not an island of wisdom. It's a fountain of knowledge. I don't even know at this point. I am not any of that. I'm just sharing my 2 cents. I would love to hear back from you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Managing finances can be challenging, but it is achievable. In our next episode, we'll be discussing another important topic, which is building and maintaining friendships in adulthood. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friend. Take care, and we'll see ourselves later. Bye.